and
Bella Garcia. I'm here in the back again.
there she is. There she is, background, and I'm in the foreground, okay? But today is podcast Thursday for the M.I.N.U podcast, Move In Next University. También les quiero recordar que aquí hablamos español y en los jueves estamos hablando de diferentes temas donde le ayudamos a entender más cómo trabaja el financiamiento y diferentes cosas para pues, poder cualificar para una casa. All right, guys, so just reiterating that, we're bilingual here, right, Bella?
Yes.
English and Spanish, and on podcast Thursdays for the M.I.N.U podcast, the Move In Next University, we're going to be doing mini series. So this is going to be the first mini series that we're going to have, where we're going to not only talk about a topic, but spend because we're shrinking down the podcast and the different things that we're doing to about 10 minutes, but we want to give you more in depth without having to sit through a 45-minute video. Isn't that right?
Yes. We want to make things sweet and short, like a little more accessible. So hopefully
Yeah.
this is going to work out good.
I'm sure it will, right? So we're good to go. So just keep in mind that in the description at the very top, the first link is for you guys to go ahead and take the initiative to pre-qualify. The second one is to review and look at the different courses we offer at Move In Next University. And the third is for you guys to follow us on YouTube, which this is also broadcasting live. But follow us on every single platform, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything we have broadcasting. So whatever you're watching this on, we appreciate the support. And today's topic, or not topic, but today's podcast, we're going to discuss DTI. Okay. So DTI, pretty much everybody's heard it. It's debt to income ratio. It's essentially the math and the percentages that banks use to approve you on your new home. So today, on today's mini series, we're going to be talking about basically the overview of what DTI is. And then again, next episode, we're going to actually give you legit examples and do the math with you. So you guys can really break down and start to do, your own DTI. Or again, we have, a credit, I say consolation, it's not consolation, a credit optimization course where not only your credit is repaired if it's needed, but your DTI is maximized, things like that we're needing to do so we can get you approved. All right, so right here, it'll say what's DTI, debt to income. And of course, it's crucial, just like I talked about for the lenders. That's the percentages that they use. They're going to basically take whatever total bills you have a month minus that percentage, which again, over the mini series, we're going to go into more depth. But 0.43 or 43% is what the DTI, debt to income ratio for your housing is. And again, over the next few weeks, we're going to be going into depth on, basically I say two examples, an example, but with two different incomes and formulas and bills, things like that. So you guys can really break it down. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so of course, a lower DTI, not only does it increase the chances for you to get approved, it increases your chances of getting approved, but also maximizes the home you can buy. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do, I don't know about you, Bella, but would you want to be settling on a house because you bought the items you needed out of order?
No.
Exactly. Like, so if you need a house and a car, get your house first and then get your car, because you won't have to settle on a vehicle if you buy your house first. But I've seen examples before, Bella, where like people went and bought the new car, the new truck, $700, $800, $900 payment, which unfortunately, I say unfortunately, that's what the car payments are nowadays. And then have to go from a double to a single wide because they didn't have enough income in their DTI. But had they bought the home they actually wanted and then went to the dealership, they still would have been able to qualify. But it's the order because of how it affects the DTI. It's pretty interesting, right?
Yes, that is definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So this says what goes into calculating to your DTI, right? So, and again, your minimum monthly credit card. So the average, American has 3 to 5 credit cards. And let's say if you have, you owe 1,000 on each one and you owe $5,000 in credit cards, it doesn't count against you that. It'll just go whatever the minimum payment is. So, and again, we're going to go more into depth on that as well. But if your minimum payment's $30, then that's what's going to count against your DTI, not the 1,000 that you owe. So that's pretty good too. Then the next one says car loans. Well, we just mentioned that, right? If you're going to get a car, get it after you get the house. Now, if you've already bought the car, and you've had it for 2 years or whatever, that's fine. Just, don't be the person who buys it in the last 90 days and then buys a house. buy them in the correct order. Okay. And then student loans, of course, child support, basically any kind of bills that you can have, whether it's furniture bills, credit cards, car notes, student loans, personal credit loans, whatever it is. But they do go from your gross monthly income, because like in next week's episode, we're going to use an example of somebody who makes like 5,000 a month, and then maybe a household where there's two incomes or so that makes 10,000 a month, and how they can be affected even with the same needs and wants in family sizes. So that's going to be pretty interesting, huh?
That is.
All right, let's move on to the next slide here. Okay, so what is good DTI? So excellent. She did a good habit of that. Is 35% or lower, because if you're giving up to 43%, you really don't want to be the client who's like barely made the 43% and got the house that you needed, or you're a little bit over. So now you have to maybe downsize on a home. And the good thing is, with us doing these M.I.N.U episodes, and all the content that we get, we're really doing a good job of educating our clientele base, aren't we?
Yeah, I feel like I said before, like we're probably one of the only people, in the field who want to educate and want to spread awareness and knowledge on topics like this.
Exactly, right? Which is, it directly applies to them buying a house. So who else should they buy from besides us? So hey, that means just us, right, Bella?
Yes, just us.
But we love everybody out there. Of course, we're all here in the same business to provide affordable housing to families. Okay. So excellent is 35% or less. Acceptable is 36 to 43, 43 being on the max. And then higher risk is there are certain lenders that'll go above 43, but then again, less favorable terms, less loan amount, things like that. And where she put on there too high. I mean, once you're over 50, it's pretty difficult to get a loan, because that means that you essentially, for what you bring in a month, you may already be overextended. But remember, the second link on top of the description is for some of the courses that we offer at M.I.N.U, which is Move In Next University. That credit optimization course is for exactly for that. So, again, the first link is for you guys to apply. Apply first. Let's get you a max approval, minimum down. And if for whatever reason we don't get the numbers that we need, then we go ahead and enroll you into a credit optimization where we increase your credit, decrease the DTI, give you the plan so that we can turn that frown upside down and maybe go from the denial to the approval, or from the counter offer that wasn't quite enough for the home you needed to have to the one you do need. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so right here, see, we kept it nice and short. We're on time. But
Yeah.
yeah, just they can contact us at 432-201-1105. You can call or text that number. You got my email right there, john@moveinnext.com, and then Joe Angel at moveinnext.com. Make sure you check out our website, check out us on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you like it, share, comment, tag anybody you think may be interested, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of our social medias. And again, this is the first of a mini series for DTI. So today we basically gave you an overview what DTI is, debt to income ratio. She did a great job of breaking down the percentages of, like, what's excellent, what's good, what's high. And again, we're not here to judge, are we, Bella?
No, never.
We're here to provide solutions. And the most important thing is coming to you directly. And let's go ahead and move to the closing remarks. Hey, that way it makes my face exactly the same size. But no, guys, in all seriousness, on this podcast Thursday, we want to thank you so much for watching the first of the mini series for DTI. Next Thursday, we're going to come to an example of two different families or family sizes. One that, like makes 5,000 a month, one that maybe has two incomes and makes 10,000 a month, like two different, people that make, 5,000 a month or whatever, and then go down with the percentages, hypothetical car payments, credit cards, and break down how it can affect, number one, what the buying power is, how it's calculated, because that's part of what DTI is. And then on top of that, to show you real time examples or real life examples of what buying that car first can do to what kind of house you can buy, when you could just buy your house, then get the car right after, because it doesn't affect you. Okay. Any closing thoughts, Bella?
No, just we'll see y'all next week for Topic Tuesday, and we'll continue this mini series for you guys.
All right.